What do we do in Manchester in the winter? I don't know. I know most people go skiing. There's not a lot that really happens in Manchester. So we looked and said, but Merriment is 6 weeks of things that are happening in the town that we can talk about. Now, when I was at the Arts Center, every hotel, everybody said to me, Jen, we need experiences. We need to sell experiences in this town to get people here. Merriment is an experience. Whether you want to go to the town tree lighting, or you want to go to the tractor parade, or the Elf Express, you have so many choices, and we have to let people know that.
But marketing Manchester Merriment, it turns out, gets a little more complicated. Representatives of an ad hoc committee formed after the demise of the Manchester and the Mountains Chamber of Commerce last spring sought the funds to promote Manchester Merriment, a collection of events which in the past included the Manchester tree lighting, the lighted tractor parade, and the historic Inn Tour. The Select Board raised concerns about using money from a marketing initiative voters at last year's town meeting approved.
My concern is that we need to be very careful about how we use the money that was put aside for the marketing initiative, that it is in keeping with the presentation that was made to the voters at town meeting as to how that money was going to be spent. We have to be held to a higher standard on that. With the demise of the chamber and a need to step in and take on some of these functions for consistency's sake, how many other of these types of of these types of functions are out there that people are going to come to us and ask to tap into that account?
A good part of the money that this marketing committee of this group is talking about, which approved this unanimously, except for Ron, he was on that committee, there was a lot of discussion, is doing the same thing, except, they're doing it in a narrower time frame of come to Manchester over the holidays, enjoy Merriment. So I don't see any difference between a good part of what we're talking about now versus what was done in the past.
Just so that I can clearly understand, what I believe that I'm hearing is that this is a request to use this money in a one-time effort to sustain these programs that wouldn't happen because of the demise of the chamber, and not a request to do it on a continuing annual.
That's correct. This is a one-time ask.
I just want to make sure that I understand the request.
Doesn't mean it won't happen again next year, but it's a one-time specific ask.
I understand that. I understand that. Understood.
I want to be clear about that, too.
Ron Mancini, one of the business leaders who pushed the town marketing initiative over the past 3 years, also had concerns about spending the money for a one-time event such as Manchester Merriment.
I can't support that. This marketing group within this group that's yet to form an organization, all right, decided to take on Merriment, I think is laudable. That's not the issue, all right? The issue is there's a better way to, first of all, market that, and it doesn't necessarily include the utilization of the marketing funds that people have contributed with a different expectation.
But the compromise that was eventually reached released $2,572 out of a total of $5,144 that had been sought, and came after a nearly hour-long discussion at the Select Board's meeting on November 1st. In the meantime, funds from private sources have been found to fill in the gap when community members heard the event might be in jeopardy. For the GNet TV News Project, I'm Andrew McKeever.